Hey, what's up? Today you're rising with Thomas, founder and creative director of GRIMEY. I used to play in a band when I was younger, and just like there was a lot of crazy shit in that era of my life from like 16 to 18, 19 around. So it was just like a lot of chaos and a lot of like grimy shit happening around me. So when I decided to like name this one organized thing, I felt like grimy was perfect, you know, because it represented all the shit that was happening around me at that time. The way grimy started was I wanted to host shows for all the artists that were in Montreal and had like a similar mentality and value system, and put out t-shirts. I mean, that was the first thing we did. We hosted a show at this bar, Crowbar, and we put out the Barney t-shirt, and it just went from there. I was pretty much booking a show every month from there, and slowly started doing more consistent clothing drops, and it just evolved from there, basically. A grimy time in my life, like, I don't know how else to describe it. It was just like chaos and thrill and like and love and intensity, just like a lot of really intense emotions and like intense circumstances, which I had kind of just normalized. And I was like, oh, this is probably how everyone's life is going, you know? I didn't really think like, oh, there's something fucked up going on until I got a little bit older and just started processing some of that shit that had happened. Basically, like when I discovered that I was depressed or depression as a thing, it kind of like freaked me out because I didn't know that that was like a reality that people can go through. That's like an acceptable thing. Like now I have skills to handle it, you know? But at first it was just like, oh, this is how I'm feeling. Everything is very intense. I'm gonna deal with it however I'm gonna deal with it, you know? Just doing crazy shit at like a really young age, just like constantly, to try and like escape shit that I knew but like was too much to dive into at that age, you know? Yeah, insomnia was almost before the depression it hit me. It was like the first thing that I recognized as like a real issue. It's obviously not fun. Like it just like you begin to lose touch of reality and you don't realize that it's happening. So like you become very normalized with the fact that you only sleep like 2-3 hours, and like if you get more than like an hour of sleep, you're like thankful for it. You're like, you normalize like a shitty mood and being like very irritable and like constantly tired, you know what I mean? So all these things become like a normal part of your life, so it doesn't feel like it's an issue, or I don't know how else to describe it. It just becomes ingrained in your day-to-day. Like there's certain rituals and routines that I have to do in order to fall asleep properly.
What was the longest you've gone without sleeping?
Probably like 6-7 days. Yeah. A big part of the grimy stuff for me is like the community aspect. So when I was a teenager and going through all this stuff, I didn't really feel like I had a home, right? But I would go to these shows and I would know the people playing the shows, and like I felt like I was a part of something. And that to me was extremely positive, you know? It could turn to negative because you're overindulging in that lifestyle. That's all you want to do. You're always out, you're always partying or whatever, or you're always at shows. But at that time of my life, it was extremely important and really beneficial. In terms of like specific friends, I've always had friends who have stuck by me through thick and thin, but I've also had a lot of friends who have completely fallen off the face of the earth. Yeah, I love myself, but it's not like an easy thing. You know, it's a thing that like I have to work on all the time. And if I stop working on it, more likely than not, it'll go back to like a not so great place, you know? I used to like chase happiness as a permanent state, but I don't think that's a realistic way to look at it. You know, after going through intense bursts of happiness and intense bursts of feeling low, I think I strive for like balance. And it seems basic to say, but it's actually tough to strive for balance on every decision you make, because throughout your day, there's little things that'll pull you in one direction. You have to like really come back into feeling present and make a strong decision, you know, and that's tough sometimes because of different pressures and because of day-to-day scenarios. I'm much happier than I used to be, and I have a lot more people and things in my life which bring me joy than I used to, and they stem from a more fulfilling place instead of fleeing emotions. You know, they're more solid. First of all, focus on your craft, like thoroughly. Like I would spend hours, days, months just working on something before showing people. And then on the flip of that is immersing yourself in the art scene or other artists and talking to people and building up that community aspect. Listening to different perspectives, staying true to what you know, but also allowing room for growth is huge. And just being an authentic version of yourself is the most important, you know? Psychedelics played like a huge part in my life, like tremendous. I did like a lot of psychedelics at a young age, and it helped me realize all these problems that I had in my life, and it helped me move towards a healthy goal quicker. But no, I'm a huge supporter of all of that, specifically for mental health, for creativity. It's something that like people just don't talk about enough, and I've seen it help people in a way that other things just haven't. So yeah, huge advocate of psychedelics. To keep growing in an organic way so we can truly build a platform and or have a spot that people can continue to feel included in, still participate in, and feel like they're part of a community. Because that to me is what GRIMEY'S all about. Like, I don't care that it's my brand. It should be like about everyone, you know? And to keep creating amazing art and creating these fantasy worlds with every drop, that's huge for me. And then promoting the Montreal scene.